Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin Mommy, and it's Wednesday, September 8th, 2021, and I'm here for my weekly cross-stitching update. Had a bit of a rough start trying to get going because Smokey is being very helpful, trying to attack everything. And so hopefully we can get through this. I don't have a lot of time, but I have a lot to show. So I'm going to start with cross-stitching first. I have a lot of birthday goodies that I acquired that are stitching related, as well as some other things that were sent to me recently. So I think I'll save that to the end, and if I have to make a separate clip to show all my goodies, I'll do that later. So let's just at least start with my cross-stitching progress that since I saw you last. I have some of the stuff you would have seen partial progress during my whip parade that I posted, I think Friday of last week. So, but there's some of it has a little bit more progress than that, and not everybody is going to watch the whip parade. So I'll go ahead and just share everything since I had my last weekly update. So here is my first travel piece that I usually start with is Temperature Typography. It's one of my patterns in my Etsy shop, and you can find all sorts of temperature pieces there. I'm currently working in September, but I believe I didn't have August finished when you saw this last. So here it is now, as up to date as it can be. This is 28 count, pale blue even weave 1/1, full crosses, and I finished T. It got kind of hot and then cool again, and then cool, and then back up to a little warmer. I think the E is going to have some bright orange / reds in it too. It's been warm. Indian summer a little bit. It does cool off quite a bit at night, which is proof that we're coming into fall, but it's still not really fall weather yet. So yeah, that's where I'm at now. I'm excited to see some more cooler colors coming in September, but we may not get those cooler colors until October. We'll have to see. And I also worked on Cozy Cafe Club. By the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. This is their 2021 Mystery Stitch Along. Started in March this year, and we're currently on clue 6. So this is the current clue, which is a diner mug, and it says coffee, just basic coffee. And I had a wonderful suggestion since I talked about this in my whip parade to say hot tea, which still has 6 letters. And that's a great idea because then I'm not going up into this other space. If I were to choose a type of tea, I'd have to like do some little backstitch letters up here, and so if I just say hot tea in all the bold font, it'll fit the exact same space. And when you're at a diner ordering, that's what you would order. You would say, I'd like hot tea, and they'll either ask you for flavors or just bring out a little container with a bunch of tea bags and you can pick what you want. So that's perfect. So that kind of solves my problem there. I love that suggestion. So I will be doing that probably this week. I'll get to that. So because I just finished all the white. This is 25 count vintage cloth in the color Prim, and you can find this at the Fat Quarter Shop. I'm doing mine 1/1 full crosses. All the drinks are in the called for DMC, and then the border I'm changing them to be similar but different fancy floss from my stash. So this is my diner mug so far. I did the kind of beigey gray color and all the white. I decided to keep it S&J Diner, which stands for Jack and Sugar Loaf, which are the Frosted Pumpkin mascots. Decided to leave it because my husband's initial is N, but the N would block too much of the donut that's on the cup. So I figured I'll just leave it S&J. And then I thought my sister's initial is J, and she likes the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery too. So that's kind of a fun thing. So it can be a diner, a Frosted Pumpkin diner with me and my sister. So that can be a fun a thought to use for that. So I'll just leave it the same, the way it's charted. It's easier that way too. So that's all my travel stitching for now. I also worked on my Mill Hill Monday hummingbird twice since I saw you last. So this is Buttons and Beads kit, just plain called hummingbird. And I want to try to get eventually 12 of these finished so I can swap them out in a frame, similar to how I have this framed, and another one in the other room for the Country Cottage Needleworks months. I want these up in my bedroom every month. So I don't remember what this one was for. It might have been for April, maybe, eventually. But I'm working on it now. And this is how far I got. Using the called for everything with 2 strands DMC on 14 count perforated paper. And I did, last week I did some beading and some green, and then this week I did the pink. So you can see in here there's some beads and some beads up in the leaves. I don't think there's any over here. Yeah, just the wing and the leaves for the beads, those green ones. And then I have some of the green was added, and then this lighter pink was added as well. So that's fun. I'm really enjoying that. And I won't work on that again until after I see you again next time, because I only pull that out for a few links of thread every Monday. So, and I don't think I worked on my waterfall in Yosemite piece at all since I talked to you last. Possibly one day, but I'm thinking most of the time I didn't work on it, so I'll just wait on that one and show you again next week, because I've been busy and I wanted to focus my time on my focus pieces. And I was a little bit ahead on waterfall, so I decided to just wait and not do that. And so nothing to show there. But going forward into what I worked on this week, I'll show you my Blackwork flower with butterflies, which is a Leslie Tier pattern, which you can find on her website. I just bought this as a PDF, printed it out, and this was my last arbitrary August spin, where I was spinning my project on a tiny decisions wheel based on choosing from things I had not yet worked on this year. So this one is one I'm doing a bunch of Victorian mottos as well as DMC 310. And this one is done on 28 count light blue even weave by Artiste. This is Weigart fabric. You can find it at Hobby Lobby. I was able to finish this corner, essentially, finish the butterfly and its swirl, and then this back stitching in here. I knew I wanted to finish the butterfly, but it ended up being a lot more detailed than I expected. There was some Krynic swirls in here, not Krynic. It called for metallic, and I am using Petite Treasure braid. So there were sparkly swirls, and then these flowers are backstitched with a single strand of the burgundy color, which then also I finished up the strand by doing some of the X's and things over here. And then I had a 2-stranded burgundy for the outline of the butterfly, as well as the swirl down here. There's some French knots and backstitching, and I think I did some of this gold swirl as well, because I was trying to get a certain amount of stitches for a Facebook group challenge as well. So quite a bit of progress on that one. So pretty happy with that. And then I decided to work on my counted canvas piece at the beginning of September. So I worked on this for like 2.5 days because I wanted to see the finish of a section. So this is called Rosetto by Needle Delights Originals, and counted canvas is similar to needlepoint on that you use canvas, but it is blank. So there's nothing printed on the canvas, and you use usually specialty stitches. So it's kind of a blend between needlepoint and counted cross stitch. So I have found it's very fun, and one of the things I'll show later in my stash acquisition section is a new pattern that I bought and some of the threads that I have started to kit up for that. So this one has a bunch of fancy threads that we don't normally see in cross stitch, so that's always fun. And here is where I got to on that one. It's an 18 count mono canvas in the color Eggshell, so it's kind of an ivory off-white color, and I got 2 sets of squares finished, which are really fun. I especially like these 2. Those are pretty fun. And then there's some like brick looking ones as well, which use some silk, so everything kind of shimmers. This light one is actually sparkly, and it's so fun using the variegated threads. This thread and these threads are actually different threads, but they're the same color, just different. This is 12 strand silk that you use 4 strands, and then this is like a pearl cotton, a mini pearl cotton, or pearl silk or something. It's fat. So it's just 1 strand of that, but it's the same colorway from the same Gloriana, I believe. So pretty cool. So the next time I pull this out, I'll probably do, these ones up here, and then wherever they send me next. It's coming along. Something I thought of while I was working on this is, I haven't looked at my calendar yet, but another project that I never got to in Arbitrary August that I have yet to work on this year, I would like to work on this year, is a Jeanette Douglas piece I have called My Story. It has a lot of specialty stitches in it as well, so I thought maybe I could try to do some sort of specialty stitch September, because I know there's a lot of sampler September and spooky small September and shiny September. I've heard a bunch of September plans rolling around in the Flosstube world. So I was thinking, I do have a lot of other things I'm doing. I'm doing my birthday starts every weekend this month. I also would like to get some time on my traditional family pieces that I like to bring out every month. So I don't have a lot of extra time on my plans, but I'm thinking where I do have time, it'd be fun to work on specialty stitches. Now that I'm saying that, I realize I'm looking at this, I don't know that I'll have time. Well, maybe right here. I was thinking of working on my daughter's macaron bookmark, but I think I'll save that until October and maybe fit in My Story at the beginning of next week to go with specialty stitch September. Because everything else I have is either family pieces or new starts or birthday stitching with friends. So I don't really have a lot of wiggle room here. So I think next week at the beginning of the week is really the only time I have to work on that. So, but I think I'm going to, because I really want to work on it, and it's my birthday month, and it's specialty stitch September. So I think, oh yeah, speaking of my birthday start, I had a birthday start. I didn't start it on my birthday, I started it for my birthday, along with 3 others which are forthcoming. So this is Hibiscus Fairy by Heaven and Earth Designs, artwork by Meredith Dillman, and it's so pretty. You can tell I love pinks. This is really pretty, and of course she's got a cat, and I don't know, I've just been eyeing this for a long time. I've owned it for a little while, decided it was time to start it. So I decided to start this as my first of 4 birthday starts. I turned 40 yesterday, so now I've officially joined the 40 club, and I needed to celebrate with 4 new starts, not just 1. So I figured in order to give them maximum quality time, I'll start them all on a Friday, so I have a full 3-day weekend to work on each new start. So this was started on Friday, and then I went ahead and kept working on it through my birthday, so it had 5 days. So this is on 28 count tea-dyed Monaco. And I decided to do the method that I've been enjoying lately, where I pick a symbol top to bottom, left to right, and work it until the string runs out. And since this is the very beginning of the pattern, I just kept picking symbols to the right in that first row, and I got pretty far along. Like it's going to there, I think, probably. So there's still a little ways till I hit the edge, but pretty good progress. This is actually over 1,000 stitches that I did in essentially 3 days of work. Friday I only ended up getting like 100 stitches, and Sunday I didn't stitch at all because my parents were visiting, and we like to play games a lot, so I didn't get any stitching done that day. So Saturday, Monday, and Tuesday, this is what I managed to do, and a tiny bit on Friday. So I'm enjoying that. I'm excited to keep going on it and get all the way to the end of the top row and then start working down and filling it all in. I just remembered, because I saw this back there, that on Thursday I did work on His Name is Jesus with Desiree, the Addicted Stitcher, here on Flosstube. And that's what this one looks like. It's by Joyful Expressions. And I'm stitching mine in a combo of Victorian mottos on 28 count Ivory Lugana, 1/1 full crosses. So this time I worked on Son of Man here and didn't quite get the whole phrase finished, but that's pretty good. You can see the string back there under my needle. So yeah, so next time I'll finish the word man, and then there's a couple more little ones I want to do before I start the really big center phrase. So that's fun. I work on that every couple weeks with Desiree. So that was this past week. And got my current projects here to talk about, because I think that's everything I worked on since I talked to you last. So this week, going forward, starting today and tomorrow, I'm going to be working on Lady of the Flag, because September 11th, which is actually Friday, is the 20th anniversary of the September 11th events at the World Trade Center. So this was purchased 20 years ago, right after that event. Nora Corbett designed this. I found it in a needle workshop 20 years ago. So Friday is, the 11th is a Friday, and that's when I had planned my second birthday start. So I'm going to go ahead and work on this today and tomorrow in honor of that. Wrong one. You will have, if you watched my whip parade, you will have just seen this, but that's okay. Here is where I am right now on Lady of the Flag. This is on 32 count Stony Point linen by Witchelt, and I'm working in the flag, so I'll probably keep doing that because I am working from the top down. So pretty much everything from, like, the stars are not done yet. They have some beads and things in there, and maybe even Krynic. So I'm gonna do the stars when I finish all of the blue area to make sure I count properly to all of the stars. But everything over here is so far finished. I need to outline her arm a little bit later, but yeah. So you'll see some work maybe in the flagpole and the flag today and tomorrow. So that's what I'll be working on next before my second birthday start happens, which is when I was going to start, I forget when, earlier this year, and I never got around to it, so I felt I still needed to start this. It's all kitted up and ready to go. This is Mini Butterfly Rose Cross by Bridget Ashwood, and I'm gonna remove the background myself in Pattern Keeper, which is mostly done, but I still needed to touch it up a little bit, so I need to do that in the next couple days before Friday, so it's ready to go. I decided, instead of this pretty blue background that will take forever to stitch. I had some hand-dyed aqua even weave that I got from, that's pretty accurate. I got from Hand Dyeing Duo on Instagram. They're the daughters of Georgia Stitcher here on Flosstube, and they have an Instagram account where they occasionally post hand-dyed fabric. So I got this from, I think, their first batch. So it's more aqua than that, but that's all right. Anyways, I'll be doing this 1/1 full crosses. This is 28 count, and so I'll have little tiny X's, and I'm excited about that. So we'll see how that goes. I'll spend 3 days on it. Hopefully I can have time on all 3 of those days to get a good start on this one. Likely in the top where the cross sticks are, so we'll have to wait and see what it ends up actually looking like. Let's see, I have a little bit of time now, so I might be able to go ahead and show some of my fun goodies before I have to leave, because I think that's all my plans. I do plan to come back on Monday again next week, assuming all goes well. So I guess I'll show some of my birthday goodies first, and then I'll show things that I received or bought. Smokey is down here playing with stuff, which is not helpful. So I had some cards. So I had a few cards from some lovely people. There's that one, and then this one, really pretty, shiny. Got this one, sparkly, from Colette, that also came with a pretty dinky dies. She always manages to pick the ones that match my match my shirt. And let's see. Oh yeah, here's another one. Another pretty card. So yay, I felt so special. Lots of people thinking about me and going above and beyond, truly. I got some beautiful counting pins from Dawn, Frosty X Stitch, in some of my favorite colors, pink and blue. And so those are really fun, and they're really fine needles, which are finer than typical pins. So I'm excited to try those on some of my higher count fabrics, like the Winter Rose that I worked on recently, where I want to get from the corner motifs down to the little ice skating girl. These will help me count accurately without putting huge holes in the fabric with my pins. And these were a couple cards from family members that I didn't receive a stitchy gift necessarily, but the card was stitchy. So this one had spools of thread on it, and this one was actually cross-stitched. You can see the cross-stitching on there with actual thread. Isn't that so cool? Thought you would all appreciate that. And then my first birthday gifts came a little bit early because there was a Heaven and Earth design sale. So I got a few charts from Desiree. I got Mini the Library, Max Colors. This is by August Toumouche. So there's this one, super fun. This is totally up my alley. It's girl or woman in a really pretty old-fashioned blue dress with, this is in toner save mode, so I think it'll be more saturated and rich in real life, but with a library behind her reading a book. Like, it's perfect. So love this. I'll probably be starting this in April with Terry Lee Crafts. Desiree also gifted me Cat Bookshelf by Randall Spangler, which is pretty fun. There's like a whole bunch of these book spines with a different cat on each one, and the names of the cats are, or the names of the books are catified. It's like The Great Gatsby and The Cat, the Dog in the Wardrobe, and things like that. So it's really fun. And potentially you could even stitch one here and there, like as a bookmark. And here's the last one that Desiree gifted me, Cat Alphabet. And this is also by Irina Garmashova. Desiree just recently started this, so I'm probably gonna also have to recently start in the near future, not recently, in the near future start this as well, so we can kind of work on it at the same time. Super fun. I love each of the different letters. So, not that I need more heaven and earth designs, but you know, you do. So those are fun. And then I had another lovely, super generous gift from 123 Stitch. Someone scoured my wish list and just spoiled me rotten. So thank you so much. There's a couple Gloriana silks in here, which I had on my wish list that belong to the seasonal Jeanette Douglas that I really want to do. One of them is, this is Flowers of Italy, which is a similar colorway to my counted canvas piece, only this one will be for the Jeanette Douglas one. And then this bottom one is called Sierra Haze. So pretty. Oh, gorgeous. So I'll be happy to use those in the seasonal, my seasonal Jeanette Douglas piece. It's gotta be started sooner than later, as soon as I get all those silks. She gave me a new mirabilia. This is called the Peony Garden. Super pretty. Love that. Now I need to find a fabric for it. I'm not sure. I don't know that I want a rosy looking one, and I have some fabric in my stash right now. I'll have to see if any of that works. So this one I'm excited about. I don't know, I think it's called Colors of the Seasons in English. It's an Italian designer, so everything is in Italian. But look at these sweet little girls in their cute little dresses for each of the seasons. Oh, love this. Gonna have to start this pretty soon too. I'm a sucker for seasonal stuff, so like these are for a seasonal piece. This is a seasonal piece. Yep, super pretty. Love that one. This is also seasonal. This is by the Drawn Thread, Simply Autumn, and this is one of four. I had all four on my wish list, but this is a fun autumn one. They show them all here together in one piece. Here's the autumn one on the top. So eventually I gotta get all of these too, but oh, look at that. So pretty. Yep, and working on the Drawn Thread one with Those Who Sing with Colette, I really like the Drawn Thread, so this is gonna be fun. And this one is by Dragon Dreams, Fairy Tale Sampler. This is fun too. It's got a really cute verse on here. Dragon, castle, sword, all sorts of things. So that's really fun. So thank you so much. I feel super spoiled. There was a couple other little things that I also got from family. A planner with some pretty flowers and butterflies and things that I can use for cross stitch planning this coming year. And I also got a bead organizer in the shape of a cat. How sweet is that? So this is something, I think it has a top like plexiglass thing that you can rotate, but you can keep your beads in here and separate them by color. So I'm hoping to use this for my Mill Hill kits so that I can separate them out and have each different color in a different pocket, and I think that'll be fun. So we'll try that instead of a tacky bob, because sometimes the tacky bob leaves residue on your beads. So I thought this might be a fun option. So I'll let you know how I like it. And then speaking of Mill Hill kits, I got this from my husband, Autumn Harvest little pretzel. I saw Calico, Christine over at Calico on Flosstube stitched this recently, and I just fell in love because we're suckers for those big soft pretzels. You can get Auntie Anne's and even get the kind you get in your freezer. So super fun. Gets everything. It has a magnet, so I'll have to consult my family to see if we want it on the fridge or on the Christmas tree as an ornament. So I'll have to wait and see. And I think that's all I have time for now. I have a little bit more to show that is what I purchased and was given, not birthday related. And so I'll come back this afternoon, probably upstairs, and film a little clip for that and tack it on at the end. So in the meantime, stay tuned. Okay, I'm back with a few more goodies to share with you. The first one is a birthday present that I forgot to share last time. It was so big, it was kind of easy to forget. I guess it's enormous. It is a portfolio for finished cross stitches. So it's really big. It's like 2 feet by, well, 2.5 feet maybe. But I figured it could put either a really big piece in there or a couple of smalls, but that's so that I don't have to find display space for everything, but I can still have it out where I can enjoy it somewhere and flip through it every once in a while or share it with people who visit. So that's kind of fun to be able to put some of my finishes in there and not have to think about how to fully finish them, where to display them. I can just put them in there. So that's exciting. Let's see. I guess we'll do what I bought. This is my next counted canvas piece called Color Blocks, and this is also by Needle Delights Originals, and super colorful. Has like all the different shades and mixtures, which granted means a lot of different colors of fancy threads, but all the specialty stitches. And this thing is a book because there's so many diagrams and charts in here, most likely, and a long list of threads. So I don't have all the threads yet, but I bought whatever 123 Stitch had. Here's the mono canvas. This is actually white mono canvas is what they recommended for this one. My other one is on eggshell, so that'll be different. But this 123 Stitch had all the DMC pearl cotton that it calls for. Look at all those pretty colors. All bright, cheerful colors. And they also had a couple of the Splendor silks, which are solid colors, but they're really puffy. And several Caron watercolors, which are variegated. And I believe they come in similar colorways to the water lilies that you see, but these are 3-ply cotton. So they're fat cotton, almost like yarns, but some pretty shades of those. So yeah, so there's a lot more that are more classified as needlepoint threads that are not included, that I didn't get at 123 Stitch. So I will be buying those eventually from my local needlepoint store because they can source all of the things. And I think 123 Stitch, they have a note near the patterns that says they can source whatever is not listed if you just contact them. And I thought about doing that, but then I felt like I'd rather give the business to my local store. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. But this is fun, so I'm excited about that. This may be a new year, new start if I can get all my threads by then. I'll also need to buy some stretcher bars because I didn't think to get any of those at 123 Stitch. All right, now I got a D-stash, a couple books on D-stash because someone contacted me that they were getting rid of some things, and I've got Teresa Wensler's Noah's Ark, and I thought this was really pretty. I can't remember who was working on this. Somebody on Flosstube had this, and I don't know if it was Dina Half Stitch Cross Stitch or if it was somebody else, but I thought this is really pretty. And even if maybe I could make it for grandkids or something someday, but it's got some specialty stitches. It's got all these little animals are 1/1, so it's pretty. And I even like the main scene. That's really quite nice. So I will enjoy doing that someday. And then I also picked up from her Beautiful Cross Stitch, which is an old book. It's very fat. My Better Homes and Gardens. And I liked this one right on the cover. It's called Rosemailing from the Nordic countries, Finland, Norway, Sweden, and Denmark in the 1700s. So there it is again. And this is some of the artwork that it's inspired by. There's another picture of it. I really liked that. So at some point I might do that, and possibly even with some random fancy flosses in my stash, because that's the sort of design that I could easily convert to whatever I have. And then a couple other ones I wanted to show you that I thought were cute was this one, the baby farm animals. Both of my younger kids were by both. Oh, so this or parts of this might have to happen at some point, as well as one other one I felt like might actually get stitched at some point was this one. It's like a homage to these not like embroidery designs that you will find like iron-on transfers for. I really liked this lady in the middle, so, and some of the other designs. So potentially something like that might happen at some point. So those are some I found in here that I really liked. And then, so thanks for sharing the stash. And I also received a few things from the Fat Quarter Shop. There was a couple quilt things. This one called Whirlwind, which is very colorful. And I haven't decided yet. I don't know. I'm still thinking about whether or not I want to keep this one. I may set it aside for a future giveaway. This one is Flea Market, which is very cute, and it's actually a book, not just a leaflet. But that's really fun. They have, let's see, there's a better picture of the quilt. It looks like that. And when I was looking through it, I was kind of surprised that each of these baskets is actually unique. So that's fun. I might actually, if I get, you know, taken over by the quilting bug, I might do that one. There's another one that I just saw the Fat Quarter Shop release that I think is going to be their charity quilt and stitch along for 2022, that the quilt looks really pretty. So I don't know, I have to think about getting on board with that one. And then a cute Hello Summer cross stitch pattern, which is got all these popsicles. That's really fun. This was from the Summer Stitch Quarterly. And then this one is the cross stitch version of So Happy, and I will be doing the quilt version of this. This weekend I've washed my fabric to, you know, pre-shrink it and get it ready, and so hopefully maybe this coming weekend I'll be able to do some cutting to get the pieces ready for the star. I'm assuming if I get it all cut, I'm going to want to start sewing, so I'll have to wait and see how that goes. I think I need to have this first part done on the 22nd, so I might still have a couple weeks, but I'd like to see if I can work ahead at all. So this I'm not interested in stitching because I will be doing sewing instead. So I'm going to go ahead and give this away today. And I think I'll go ahead and make it available to anybody worldwide. So this one, if you want a chance to win this, don't use the word giveaway or win or free or anything. We want to make sure it goes to one of you who loves to stitch. And this is, I guess use the word sew, S-E-W, in your comment. And I will do a random number picker next week to give this to somebody who wants to stitch that. And then they offered to let me sign up for the Stitch Quarterly, and I said sure. So I got my first Stitch Quarterly. This is the autumn one. It just came at the beginning of the month. So if you have not yet seen the Stitch Quarterly and you are signed up for it, you might want to stop. I don't think I have anything else after this. Oh yeah, I was gonna say regarding my quilt, the So Happy quilt that I'm doing that looks similar to this. I'm doing mine with sewing themed fabrics, including vintage dresses and vintage pattern pieces, because I used to do a lot of garment sewing, which I don't do as much anymore. But I mentioned that I made my own wedding dress, so I thought I would share a picture of my wedding dress, since there were quite a few of you who said you wanted to see it. So it has been 19 years since this, and I don't think I could fit into it anymore. I'm still thin, but not that thin. So 3 kids later, but it was fun to make, and I had a nice time. And I was able to save money, which is also a big part of who I am. So that was fun. I had always had a dream or goal to be able to make my wedding dress. So I'm glad I was able to do that. So transitioning back to the Stitch Quarterly, it came with this cute project bag and all the goodies inside, and there's a little example of all of them. So again, if you don't want to see what's in here, look away, and I will see you next week. But I'm excited because this is something that's new to me, but this looks like it's kind of a continuing of the theme of the summer one that they did earlier. This is called Autumn, and here's the summer one. So it's got an acorn made up of leaves and things, and it looks like the acorn has like a pattern in it as well. So that's cute. They give you all the DMC that you can, so you can make the pattern. Give you the cutest little needle minder and a needle. John James, size 26, John James needle to go with the needle minder and the pattern. So you pretty much get everything you need to do this. A piece of 12 by 15 pale gray gingham Aida, which is actually really fun. I've never stitched on a gingham print fabric before, so I'm actually kind of tempted to do this because that sounds fun. It's 14 count. You guys travel stitching. And then these thimble pads, which is actually unique. You put them on your finger and to use as a thimble instead of going over the top of your finger, you just stick it on there, which is cool because my fingers are super tiny, so a lot of times it's hard to find a thimble that actually fits. It doesn't just fall off, so that's handy. I will definitely keep those on hand. There was some sewing I was doing for my son's class several years ago for like Pioneer Days when I was sewing together a rug, a rag rug, and that was hard on my fingers. So definitely needed a thimble for that. So if I have to do something like that again, I'll definitely pull those out. So and see how they work. And maybe even some hand stitching on this quilt. I don't know how that's gonna go, but most of it I'll do on the machine. But anyways, so many fun goodies, such a lovely birthday. I feel very special, very spoiled, and very loved. And I want to thank everybody for giving me all the wishes all over for happy birthday. There were a lot of comments on my last video, so thank you for that. And I'm looking forward to the stitching this week, and I hope you guys have a fun time working on whatever you're working on and enjoy your September. Happy stitching!